Hey everybody, welcome back to a live coaching session with Brandon Gustafson at brandongustafson.com. Excited to have you here on the channel today. For our topic, we're going to be diving into do what's important. You need to stop doing the urgent and focus on the important. It's a topic that I think a lot of you probably struggle with, and it's really hard to get into that flow and be able to get into the spot where you are doing the things that are truly important and not letting our time be consumed by the urgent. So we're going to get into that in today's video. Before we get over there, make sure if you're new here, you subscribe and ring the bell so you get notified every time we do one of these live coaching channels or one of these live coaching sessions, so that you can just kind of be up to date and interact with me as we go through this. And if you get over to the website at brandongustafson.com/5P as in Paul, you can get access to our guide, the 5 P's to Effective Personal Development, which will help you on your personal development journey. So make sure you get over there as well. Now let's dive into the topic again. We are talking about doing what is important and stop doing the urgent and focusing on the important things. So before we get into that, I kind of wanted to talk about the difference between what is important and what is urgent. And I think a lot of you know this, but I think it's really important for us to talk about the important versus the urgent. So I'm going to use an example for you and try to make it so it makes sense. Okay, so let's say that I'm in charge of picking up my kids from school. Now it is important for me to do that. It's important for me to be the one that is picking them up from school and going there and being there for them and getting that done. When I compare that to sorry, I think I have something printing behind me. When I compare that to an email, that's urgent. And if I have an email come up that is urgent, I'm working on renewing the insurance for one of my assisted living facilities right now, and it's urgent for me to get that done, and I need to get it done. But it's a lot more important for me. Sorry, I've got noise going on other places. It's a lot more important for me to go and pick up my kids from school and to help them out. So I'm going to check and make sure I'm still recording here. Okay. I want to make sure I didn't have any issues with that. Okay, so it's a lot more important for me to focus and go and pick my kids up from school compared to answering that email. And that's a really extreme example of urgent versus important and what those look like and what I should be focusing my time on. So I just want to make sure that that's clear. I think everybody knows the difference between the two, but I want to make sure that you understand what those things are. And I apologize for the issues with audio and things like that. It's kind of a part of doing this as a live coaching session. But let's see. Let's get into the urgent trap. It's so easy for us to get bogged down by things like emails and to get bogged down by if you're working a full-time job and people are messaging you on Teams or Slack or whatever other tool that you're using. It's really easy to prioritize those things, and they are created with the intent of being urgent. Facebook notifications, Instagram, all those notifications, the entire ecosystem that we live in is built and predicated on these urgent reminders. They ding us, and there's a big bold notification that says, hey, you need to respond to this. And it's set that way so that we will go in and look at it and spend more time in the app, or spend more time on the application, on the software, whatever it is that we're using. Their intent is to get us to use it consistently, and they do a really good job at it. They have looked at the science behind it. They know how to do this. They know how to get this all in front of us, so we're spending a lot of time on it. And it's really hard for us to recognize that those things are urgent. They're not necessarily important. And it's really, really easy to get bogged down and fall into this urgency trap with things that are urgent and have a level of importance with them, but they're not really important. So what I want to get into today is how to do what's important and give you a few strategies for that. It's going to help you along the way. And the first one I'm going to talk about is the Eisenhower Matrix. And I highly suggest that you spend a little bit of time searching this on the internet. It's going to give you a little bit better of a drawing than I can give you here in a live session. But basically, let's say there's a matrix like this. You have 4 quadrants, okay? And there is important, not important, urgent, not urgent. And so all of the things that you need to do are going to fall into one of these quadrants. And the things that you need to do immediately and that need to get done are the urgent and important tasks. Okay, so urgent and important tasks are up here in the corner, and then you have not urgent but important, so you need to get those done. And then there's not important but urgent, and then there's not important, not urgent. And you can kind of, and hopefully that makes sense as I'm kind of going through this quadrant with my hands, but being able to determine what things go where is going to help you out. I have done this in the past where I just have like a notepad on my desk. I have that quadrant, and I'll have my to-do list, and then I'll just kind of put them into whichever quadrant it is that I need to, where it lands, and then I'm going to focus my time on the urgent and important things, the things that have to get done and they need to get done quickly. That's what needs to get done. Then beyond that, I look at what is in that important but not urgent, and that urgent but not important, and what's going to go in there. And often there's certain emails that come up, or long-term projects that come up, or just different types of things that fall into that. And this not urgent, not important quadrant is often things like those messages, especially social media ones. It could be the majority of your emails as well. Those are things that are going to fall into that bottom quadrant. But in reality, we're spending most of our time down here, and we're procrastinating on these other 3. And that's something we need to flip and change and spend most of our time up here doing deep work, which is a concept that is taught by Dan Sullivan. You need to be up here in this quadrant and not down here in this quadrant. So we need to get out of this area and get up to this area. All right. Now let's talk about the next one, setting clear priorities. And this kind of goes in line with looking at that quadrant. And you want to look at the things that are up here in that important and urgent quadrant, and those need to be your priorities. And you need to be clear about what those look like. And you need to get in and make yourself a list. And if it's going to be helpful, make a list of just those 1 to 3 things that are in that section. And that's what you need to focus and get deep on and really go to work on so that you can be productive as you get through things. So set those clear priorities. The more clear you are, if you're writing it down, whatever it is that makes it clear for you in your mind, that's what you need to do, because it's going to allow you to focus and get those things done. The next one is to learn to delegate. So I work with virtual assistants. I've talked about this in past videos, and if you're interested in learning about how to work with virtual assistants and the process that I go through when I'm hiring a virtual assistant, or how I work with them and communicate with them and give them projects and things like that, make sure you comment down below. I'd love to create a video that kind of gives an overview of what that looks like. It's one of those ways of doing personal development. Delegation is key. The concept we talked about a little bit ago, the who, not how. This book by Dan Sullivan and Benjamin Hardy is an incredible book and kind of goes through that process. But learning how to delegate is a great one, especially if you're an entrepreneur or solopreneur. That's going to be something that is really key for you. If you're in a leadership position, you need to learn how to delegate as well. You need to learn how to give trust to people, and you need to figure that out. That concept in who, not how is the same thing. Whether you are an entrepreneur, solopreneur, or you are a careerist that has that career going, learning how to delegate and how to give this to people and find the right person in the right place is going to be key, which is another concept that is taught in the book Traction by Gino Wickman. You want to find that person, delegate it to them, and trust that they're going to get it done. That's what we need to do. Next is the time blocking. So time blocking is basically you take a chunk of time, and I do this all the time. You take a chunk of time and you say, okay, for this 90 minutes to 3 hour period, I'm going to be blocking off this time. I'm working on this. I also like to time block my not important, not urgent tasks so that I can get them done. Because Otherwise, for me, they're in the back of my mind and just constantly nipping at me, and I want to get them done. And so I'll give myself a 30 to 45 minute block of time to go in and get those things done. Block them off, get them out the door, be done with them. Generally, they take about 5 minutes to do. It doesn't take long. So that's a process and a concept that I've used, a strategy that I've used to help me get through those not important, not urgent things that are in that matrix for me, that Eisenhower Matrix. But time blocking is something that's going to allow you to get focused and get in and do some really deep work on the things that are important and urgent and really need to get done. So highly suggest that you use that concept. It's an incredible one. I really enjoy time blocking. Now let's talk about practicing mindfulness, and we've talked about this in previous videos as well, but taking time to center yourself and relax and focus on the things that are important are so important. I mentioned in my last video that I am in a mastermind group, and we do a 2-minute meditation on what our future self is going to look like. And it's something that it's like the best 2 minutes of my week. And I love going in and centering on that because it allows me to remember the things that is important, my goal for what I want to achieve, and then puts me in a mind frame that is going to allow me to get there. And it really lets me come back to that and ground myself into what I want to do and what I want to focus on. And I need that reminder on a constant basis. And practicing mindfulness and doing that and centering yourself, grounding yourself is really going to allow you to make some progress and recognizing the things that are necessary for you to reach your goals. You need to tie all of these things, all of those tasks in that Eisenhower Matrix, all of it needs to be tied back to the thing that you want to do and where you want to go. What are your goals? You need to focus on that and achieve that. That's how you're going to get there. So practicing mindfulness is going to really help you out with that. And then last is doing a regular review of just your priorities and your goals and everything that you want to accomplish. I work on a 12-week year cycle. So I've talked about this book a little bit before as well, but this is Brian Moran, an incredible book. I've done some coaching and things with him directly, and just an awesome book, an awesome concept. And so I do my review on a 12-week year basis. So I work for 12 weeks, and then I have a week in between when I start my next 12-week year, and use that time to really focus on the things that I'm going to be building in this coming 12-week year and how I performed in the past 12-week year. And taking that time to review what is going on is also extremely helpful. I also have a weekly review where I just kind of rate myself in my different areas of priority in my life on a scale of 1 to 10 and give myself a rating for what that looks like, so that and I track it and I can see trends of how I'm doing in my family and how I'm doing in my spiritual life and how I'm doing with my work and how I'm doing with my health, and all of those things. I track them so that I can see, trends and what's happening and when did I start making changes to my health and how has that impacted it and how do I feel. And then I journal a little bit, just like a really quick paragraph on each of those. And then on a nightly basis, I go in and review the things that I'm going to be doing the next day and set priorities and clear up my to-do list so I can make sure I get things done and get it done in a timely manner. So taking that time to review and plan is going to be extremely important for you if you want to accomplish the things that are important and urgent and not waste your time down here in that not important, not urgent quadrant. I hope this video has been helpful to you, gave you 7 steps, 6 or 7 really good suggestions and strategies to help you through your process. First, we talked about the idea of what's the difference between important and urgent, and how to not get trapped in that urgent trap and how to not fall into that. And then our strategies were the Eisenhower Matrix, setting clear priorities, learning to delegate, time blocking, practice mindfulness, and regular review. So 6 strategies. And if you found all of those helpful or any of them helpful, I'd love to hear what was helpful to you. Comment those down below. Make sure you let me know so I can create more videos and more specific things that are going to help you out on your personal development journey. It's what we're here for at Brandon Gustafson. We're here to help you transform your life your way. If you like this information, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Ring that bell so you get notified every time we do one of these live coaching sessions, and like the video if it was helpful to you. And get over to the website brandongustafson.com/5P so you can get access to the 5 Ps to effective personal development. And here at BrandonGustafson.com, we are here to help you transform your life your way. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.